love. I'm going to take you through the four types of love that you have to have if you're going to have bonding. Okay? It has to happen. But trust me, I've done the research. L. Look at that. Everybody say, look at that. Look at that. Woo! The type of love that this is going to represent is eros. Okay? Eros. E-R-O-S. Eros. It's a Greek word. It means look at that. Okay? It's the some enchanted evening you will meet a stranger across a crowded room and you go, whoa, daddy like. You know what I'm saying? Okay? That's what it is. And there's nothing wrong with this. Don't freak out. Don't go, oh, eros, isn't that the base word for erotica? Oh, and then that's the base word for pornia? Eros is worship. Eros at its root is what we do on Sunday when we're singing, I exalt you, I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice and worship you, oh my soul rejoice. What type of love are you demonstrating on Sunday morning when you're singing your praises to God, or on Friday night or Saturday night or whenever you do it? You are demonstrating eros. Eros is good. Eros is adoration. And I'll tell you what, if you want to have a good love, if you want to have a great love, if you want to have a love that will last, you will have to have eros. And you know what? This is not eros. It has portions of eros. But the problem is, it starts with eros, and connecting starts with eros, and most of the time ends with eros. That didn't make for a good epoxy. The next part of love you need to have is we're going to use the word, the letter O, right? Because we're using love. The letter O, we're going to use the phrase, our commonality. Everybody say, our commonality. Our commonality. Now, the word we take, the Greek word here, is the word philia, right? Philia, we know that from, of course, the very famous Philly cheesesteak. Of course, exactly. When I talk about philia, when I talk about the type of philia love that we need, I'm talking about a friendship love. Let me tell you what, you do not want to enter into a marriage with someone you have nothing in common with on a friendship basis. We have all seen people who have hooked up, and their only thing that they had in common was breakfast at Tiffany's. Remember that song? One thing we had in common, breakfast at Tiffany's. The problem is breakfast at Tiffany's doesn't hold you for the long haul. My wife and I have been married 23 years, praise the Lord. Now, they weren't all consecutive, so don't clap. No, they actually were. I just wanted to see you get appalled for just a second. Well, this is pretty base. And you know what? You're right. The first two are pretty base. They're pretty obvious. I bet everyone in this room could have given me those 2 points up until this point. The next point that you need is V, okay? The next love type is V. And the word we're going to use for it is the word vulnerability. Can everybody say that? Vulnerability. One more time. Everybody this time. Vulnerability. The in sickness or in health. Love. Let me read this to you. This is out of the book. Storge gives the promise of everlasting care. It declares eternal protection. It fulfills its obligation to its mate to the very end. It's what I call nursing home love. I have a dear friend, and I remember 15 years ago when he was going through a bout, it was discovered that he had diabetes. And I don't know all the different types, but he had the bad type. And he was having to take shots, and he couldn't get regulated. He was very sick, and they cut off a toe on this foot, they cut off a toe on the other foot, and they were starting their way up, and they were chopping, and they were talking about taking his foot off at the ankle. And I remember sitting there. He was not a pastor at that time. I remember him sitting there in our house, Tim. And I remember counseling them, and I remember the day that his wife looked my wife and I in the face and looked him in the face and made this statement. She said, I don't want to be married to an invalid. I remember like it was yesterday, Tim. I got up, I walked out of the room. I couldn't deal with this. Because I knew right then and there the marriage was over. It was over. It was over. I couldn't go in with a fix. I couldn't give, here's 5 points. Do this and this will correct it. I'll just pray more fast. It was over. You know why? Because there was never full bonded love to begin with.